I want to share with you some of the earliest moments of inspiration for me, the things that excited me so much about reading and about storytelling. And since many of you are involved with elementary schools, and since we all have passed through elementary schools, no matter where we went after, I thought I'd mention to you that I still remember 48 years after I was in grade 1, that my grade 1 teacher was named Mrs. Rowe. I still remember what she looked like. I still remember the sound of her voice. And it's 48 years ago. And every day when we showed up at this Mallow Road Public School in Don Mills, where I was in grade 1, she would begin the class by telling a story. And the story always began centered in a family on a farm in central Canada, and the children would wake up in the morning to this smell of fresh baked donuts, and they'd sort of stumble downstairs to get this fresh donut as part of their breakfast. And the story would always begin with the kids tumbling downstairs to get their breakfast, and then she'd depart in some unexpected direction once they hit the kitchen. And of course she had us hooked because she knew exactly what children need in literature. They love the predictability, knowing how a story is supposed to unfold, and they also love the surprise and the utter unpredictability of how it might turn out. And so she had us on both fronts, and there was no way I was going to miss a day of school with Mrs. Rowe in grade 1. I also had the fortune of having a mother who read to us every day and every night, and I still remember my mom was hooked on A.A. Milne, and she'd read Disobedience and so many other poems to us, and I still remember it. I've got it written down here, but it's also got it committed to memory. James, James, Morrison, Morrison, whether George Dupree, took great care of his mother, though he was only 3. James, James said to his mother, "Mother," he said he, "you must never go down to the end of the town without consulting me." And on the poem goes, but again, the magic of language, the playfulness of language, I just found so intoxicating at such an early age. And then I guess the nail that sort of sealed the coffin and turned me for sure into a writer was having a father who had so many stories about growing up in segregated America, and introducing me to the African American fiction and poetry of his childhood and early adulthood. And I remember being hooked by this mesmerizing poem by Langston Hughes, very short poem called Cross, and it's so short that I could read it to you in about 10 seconds. Cross, Langston Hughes. My old man's a white old man, my old mother's black. If I ever cursed my white old man, I'd take my curses back. If I ever cursed my black old mother and wished she were in hell, I'm sorry for that evil wish, and now I wish her well. My old man died in a fine big house. My ma died in a shack. I wonder where I'm gonna die, being neither white nor black. Langston Hughes, Cross. So the mother, the father, Mrs. Rowe, it was sealed. I was just destined to be a writer, and I just couldn't stop writing from the time I was 6 or 7. My father, like so many immigrants to Canada, was horrified by the idea of his children moving into the arts. I don't think any self-respecting immigrant in Canada wants to see their child become a novelist. You know, they're looking for doctors, lawyers, teachers, engineers, something that will inure their children against the economic and social insecurities that their parents faced before coming to Canada. So he was obsessed about us becoming educated and learning to read, and obviously I pulled that into my own excitement of reading and writing from a young age. Since the conference is called Reading for the Love of It, I should say that I think love and reading go very well together. I think one of the most romantic things you can do is read to your partner in bed, or be read to. And one of the most beautiful, loving things you can do for another human being is to read to him or to her.